Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, December 24th, 2025. Sorry for the delay. Just as I was getting ready uh to uh to hit the button, my good buddy Dave, our old manager, and Dave and I go way back, showed up. So not an accidental stream, Omaha. Sorry. Um yeah, so I had to he brought a Christmas gift and I haven't looked at it yet, so we'll deal with it later. I needed to do a very short stream today. Man, am I juicy, Gabriel? Lots of people going on over on YouTube. Good morning, Gabriel. Who else we got in Twitch here? From Corolla, Adelaney, Apple Tater. Wow, holy, oh man. All right, you guys are entertaining yourselves. That's good. But I got a couple things I want to do, and including one is Lisa's. Oh, hang on, hang on. Yeah. Okay. All right, that was Amazon. I'm going to get interrupted one more time when the U.S. Postal carrier comes, and then that should be it. So, um, anyway, one of the tasks I have to do today before noon, so I have an hour and 21 minutes to do this, is to prep Lisa's Christmas present, which does sort of need some kind of repair, and then we're going to tackle the pens from yesterday, and I'm going to pick out some new things so that we can hit the ground running next week. So let me get my chair situated here. Boston, give me the day off. No, but what? So originally I was going to plan to stream at 2 o'clock like normal and run till 5, but Lisa's done at noon today. And then I said, you know what? It is a holiday. Um, I'm just gonna do this early. I got all my work done this morning. I got all my shipping done, and we're just gonna do a little bit and be done with it, and then we're gonna go home early and then just relax and take the rest of the day off. So, all right, yeah, weird to have a stream this early, isn't it? All right, let's take a look at what we got on the bench. Ta-da! I really got to get this light situation fixed. Anyway, so this is Lisa's Seiko SUP441 solar. It's got a really great great kind of blue dial with like these little faux diamonds on it. Really a cute watch. But the bracelet's too tight, so I need to take care of that. And I have said replacement bracelet. And then we're going to get into the pens, and we're going to look at that diamond metal, and I think we got a solution for that. So if you've been following along the last couple of days on the diamond metal, I think we've got a solution for it. Oh. Let me see. Come on. There we go. So I just got to get this off. Yeah, once I get this, I get the day off. Get one out, then the other one's. At least we can see what we're working with here. There we go. Oh. How is everybody doing? Everybody getting ready for tomorrow? Christmas? All your presents wrapped? We're doing ours tonight or tomorrow. Our main concern was if we did them too early, because we were going to do them. We were talking about doing them last night. Is then we would have to hide them from the cats, because right now they're. I guess we could have put them in the basement, but. All right, so let's see. Hopefully this goes together like a champ. Oh, this has got the. Oh, this is piece of cake. I love this. This has got the little lever in here. Already here, everybody's getting crochet hats and finished the last one last night. That's cool. All right, so which way does this go here? This way. Oh, well, this isn't going to work now, is it? It's too narrow. Well, son of a gun. Well, that's it for this today. This ain't going to work. Measure millimeters. I don't have a metric. This is supposed to be 14 millimeters, but it's not the right size. And I don't think. All right. Not going to work. Son of a gun. I think I threw the packaging away too. Merry Christmas. This is not the watch channel. I'm done messing with this. All right, let me put this off to the side here. Hang on, I'll be right back. All right. Well, let's get to pens, huh? I'm excited because I think I got a solution for our diamond point problem. Sandy, thank you for the follow. All right. We got this snorkel we're gonna take a look at today. And this guy has been, if you haven't been watching the last couple days, this is the most interesting pen we've had on this stream in a long time. It is not. Well, we'll get to it in a minute. Let's see if this is good, and then we can get this guy together. But I think I found a suitable solution for that problem. Well, that looks too long. Oh. All right. I didn't actually get the feed wet here. Nice writer. This will do. Original sticker on the section. We can seal this up and this will be ready to go. Lurking today, Glenn. How you doing? Merry Christmas. I'm just doing a few short things. I probably wouldn't have done anything at all, but I wanted to at least work on that watch, and Lisa's watching it. It writes nice, but it's not filling now. Well, that's not right. All right, well, we got to do a little detective work here. Barrel seals up nice. We got a new point holder gasket. Don't see any cracks in the section. Maybe the tube is. Well, I can get the rod through the tube. Barrel's good. Well, that looked better. There we go. There must have been something in that snorkel tube that wasn't allowing. I didn't see it come out on the wire. There we go. That's good. Try it one more time just for. Oh, there was a. Oh, I just noticed there was a raid from Pen Addict. Yeah, sorry. All right, good. That is good to go. We're going to seal that up. Torcar, thanks for the follow. Welcome. That big fat head's getting in the way of the snorkel there. I think this toothpick has reached the end of its days. That away. And if you're wiping this off, you always want to, you don't want to rotate it in place. You want to kind of slide it over to get the majority all off. Otherwise, you just smear it all over the threads. Now that I got most of it off, I can just heat it up and then I can do it in one place. You like slim pens like the CP1? How comparable do you think a Parker 25 would be? 25 is a little bit chunkier. I would look at Schaefer Slim Targas. I'm going to put that on. And that guy is done. All right. Yeah, 25 is kind of a chunky pen. All right. So, we've got this guy. And if you've been following along the last couple days, this pen has a very weird filling system. It is the nib is marked Webster Diamond Metal. It has this offset button on the back end that is removed with an oversized vacuumatic filling unit. This way. And then this sits in here, and there's a diaphragm that is attached about 1.5 inches in the barrel. There's a nipple inside the barrel that seemingly does not come out. I let it soak over the weekend. I used excessive heat. I mean, more heat than I would normally want to. And it wouldn't come out. So what I tried today is I said, well, a 17 sack actually goes on there and I can feel it secure on the nipple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the sack to size, put shellac around the inside. Yeah, I can feel a little. Oh, hang on. Mail's here. I'll be right back. Oh, no. False alarm. It's not the Postal Service. Um, so this actually, I can feel it snug on here. So we're going to cut it to size. We're going to put shellac on the inside of the sack. And we're going to, I don't know how I'm going to do it because I'm going to have to, I'll figure that part out once we cut it out. But I'm going to have to cut it to size and then get it to go in on the nipple and then let it dry. And then next week we can get to it. But I just noticed that there's a little bit of, probably from a little bit of warping on the barrel. It could have been there. I don't know. There's a little bump. So, but I can feel this go in and slide on, and it's with a little bit of shellac. I think this will be okay because I can hang on to it. So, this is the maximum amount. What I need is a. I'm just not. Believe it or not, it's exactly an inch. Which makes things so much easier. But I don't think we want it exactly an inch because then that brings it right up to the end of the barrel. So we wanna subtract out the distance so a quarter inch. So 3/4 of an inch, we'll trim it to. Well, that's going to be hard to get in there. This is where I wish the old one would have come out. And I'm going to err on the short side. There it is. Going to go in there and. Oh yeah, actually, you can feel it go on there. So, um, and really, this is acting like a vacuumatic diaphragm or a bulb filler, more like a bulb filler, I suppose. And now that it's dry, I can see in here. I'll use my light here. I don't see any extra residue. And for those listening and for future reference, this is a size 17 sack. Be right back. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
Good, and you?
Good. I've got a scan form here for you. But I set it aside because I got something on the back. I need
Oh,
shred it.
oh, on the paper.
Yeah, and then there's this one.
Oh.
Yes, I do. You were cool. All right. Thank you. Yep. We'll be here Friday. Yep. Yep. All right, that was my milk carrier, so I think the interruptions for the day are done. I had a Christmas present for her, so. All right. Okay, I think it's on. So we can take a look here. There it is. And you can see that little line there. So those are the threads for the filler. So it's got to be below that. And then there's got to be a little room for this guy here. So what I should have done before I put it in there was put a little talc on there, but I forgot to do that. Actually, what would be good is, I can get in there with maybe a little. Well, I'll get in there with some talc with the toothpick or something. But we're gonna let this dry. And we're just gonna double check these threads here. Goes in easy. This is the first one of these I've done, so. Hopefully it works. Well, I'm gonna just quickly run a wire brush on that. That looks good. I'll check these threads in here. All right. Well, we're going to cross our fingers that that is going to hold. And we'll know by tomorrow. Okay. Well, not tomorrow. Monday. Does the president give a Christmas Day speech on TV tomorrow? I no idea. No idea. Or these threads don't seem stripped. It's gonna be. I think it sort of catches about a half a turn. I think it's probably good enough. I want to do one thing here from yesterday, so we're going to move on to the pens from yesterday that we finished up. I want to ink this pen up again. Oh, I got to spin that other pen out too. I want to ink this up again and then just make sure it doesn't drip, because it dripped yesterday, and I think it was because I didn't wipe out the feed after filling. I want to do that again, just to set my mind at ease. Let me spin this guy out. Lisa's going to be done. Oh, it's 11:18. I thought it said 11:58. All right, so that pen can go home. Which will make me happy, because that actually means there's 2 pens off my bench, because it came with the second one. We'll see if plain water chimes in. Yep, there's a little blob. Now it's fine. There's just excess. I'm going to try it again tomorrow. Just excess ink in that feed that needs to be absorbed because it fills so much. And maybe what I need to do is pull it out. Nothing was stirring except for Brian working on desk sets, wearing his green smoking jacket and slippers and a fez hat. Yeah, there we go. Richard Bender always says hold it upside down for 3 seconds. Yeah, it's such a flat. There's nothing much going on in that feed. You had 8 inches of snow and you're expecting 2 more inches? Holy smokes. It's 34 degrees here today. And my car is not scheduled to be done until next week. All right, I'm just to settle my mind, I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna try that again on Monday. All right. Side. I'm gonna go grab a couple trays of pens. We'll pick some pens out to work on. Yeah. Hello. Good. How are you? This is why I don't stream in the morning, because I get FedEx, I get UPS, I get Amazon, I get mail, and apparently I have a huge box. I have no idea what's in it. A huge box from Faber-Castell. I mean, it's as big as my iMac. It doesn't weigh much, so I don't know what it is. Sometimes they would send us displays and things. They have desk sets. So I don't really know. There's a big box and then there's a small box. So I'm not, and I haven't ordered anything from them recently. So all right. So I know you can't see the tray that I'm working on. Perfect pencils. No, I haven't ordered perfect pencils yet. We'll try that. Just for fun, we're going to try this pen because it irritates me to no end. We're going to clean that. That's a piston filler. I don't know what it is, but here's a nice 530. I'm pulling out all the weird stuff. Here's a Conway for Juicy. And I'll throw that in the mix for now. A couple of those are pistons, so we're just going to clean them and see if they hold ink. But this is a weird, very weird grouping of pens. These two are pistons. This is an Artist 420. Conway 58. No, this is a 388. Isn't that what you had the other day? Did you have a 388 the other day? Nice kind of fine, medium oblique. Section's got pliers marks on it, so that makes me nervous. Yeah. This is an Artist 420. It's a piston filler. It's got a plated nib, but it's got a hard rubber line cap. Really tiny piston now. It's really hard to turn. The Andersons have a Christmas tree at home. We do not. We have two cats that would love nothing more than to tear the house down if it had Christmas trees. It's almost easier to turn the barrel than it is to turn the piston knob. We thought about having a... I'm going to let that water sit in there for a while. We thought about having a little tiny tree. Merry Christmas, Spicy. So I'm just going to let that sit. I don't know what this is. This is German. It actually has a 14 karat nib on it. The nib is just marked B. And we'll let that one soak too. Kind of a weird, it's full size. Got a friction fit cap. Post nice. Big. Got a little bit of a indentation in the section for your fingers. Right's nice. So we'll let that soak. I'll throw that cap in the ultrasonic. This is an interesting pen. Another Italian pen. Titania. It's a kind of a 51 clone. I imagine it probably at one point had a squeeze converter on here. So what I'm going to do first is try to see if we can get this hood off so we can get this nib unit out and fix this nib, because the nib is too far out. So when we put the cap on, it crunches the nib. But I'm guessing this top part of the hood unscrews. There's a little step here. And the section is ribbed. It's very interesting. Not only striped celluloid, but there's ribs on here for gripping. I'm not sure where it comes apart, so we're going to find out. It was either, there could be two parts here, because this part here could be threaded onto this, and this could just be turned down, but that seems kind of awkward. This seems like this would come off and this would come off. You've been looking up what size sack you need for the pen you sent me a picture of yesterday. Best info you can come up says 16. The inside of the barrel is 3.34 inches. So Saxa measures in 64ths of an inch. So 16 then is quarter. But you might be better off. I would say get a 15 and a 16 and see which one fits best. All right, well, first thing I think we're going to do is we're going to soak this. We're going to drop it in the ultrasonic. It doesn't want to come off. So let's eliminate that issue. I don't know that we're going to be able to fix it since we don't have it. Could be an eyedropper. It looks like somebody filled it as an eyedropper. All right, so this is another weird pen, an Asturia Nova. The button filler. So a bunch of Italian pens today. Since you use black ink a lot, what's a good black ink? Something like platinum carbon. Well, it depends on what you're using it in, right? Everybody says they gotta have a black ink. It's gotta be black. Gotta be really black. Like I don't, you know. I mean, if you need waterproof, carbon black's okay. It's hard to clean out. You know, if you want to have the blackest black, you got Cho Kuro. It's very hard to clean out. Aurora black, I think is great. It's a nice solid black. It's not gray. What's your opinion on Italian makers? No, there's a famous Belgian one, but he doesn't make a lot of pens and they are hard to get. Well, I mean, are we talking vintage or are we talking modern? I think vintage Italian pens are great. Modern Italian pens, Visconti has gotten a lot better, but modern vintage or modern Italian sometimes is more show than go. You know, Montegrappa. I mean, seriously. Aurora makes a real nice pen. They're one of the better ones. Yeah, Aurora's dark. It stays dark and really fine nibs. Yeah. I also use Sailor Black in addition to Waterman Black, which I know is kind of. All right. Hey, at least one's going to come apart, right? You got a Waterman 52, you might have to send it to an expert. The lever box is broken and it's way outside your skill set. Yeah, you need a there's a special tool for that. And you need the lever box. My thinking, if I'm being honest, is unless it's a really special 52, is you're almost better off getting another pen and just swapping the barrel because I mean, it'd have to be a phenomenal chasing and phenomenal color or something to justify the cost of shipping it out, buying a lever box, paying somebody to put it in, and shipping it back. I mean, you're talking. It's the only one you could afford. Yeah, I mean, but you're talking about $100 in repair and shipping. Now, if you get someone who can repair it for, I mean, even if somebody only charged you $25 to repair it, which I would be gobsmacked, anybody who charged less than 40, 50 bucks for that, just to put the lever box in, you know, it's probably going to cost you, I don't know what postage rates are over in the UK, but I mean, around here, you're talking 10 bucks each way. There's 20 bucks, 25 to put it in. We're at 45, and lever box is going to cost you 45 bucks easy. I mean, you're already at 90 if they only charge 25. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you want to learn how to do the repair, then it's priceless. .52s that generally aren't that expensive. Well, this is not coming off. Wow. Well, we got some kind of sealant on here. So into my little jig it goes. Yeah, keep it and work on getting the skills. For less than $100, you should be able to get, I mean, the tool that you need, and I have one, I don't know where it is. It should not be expensive. It shouldn't be more than $20. I'm going to throw this whole thing in there. That's not coming off. And if I'm not mistaken, the lever box on a 52.5V is the same box that you need on a 52. So, and those are usually pretty cheap. All right, so these are soaking. I just, you know, I don't want to be all negative, but I don't want to see us spend good money after bad. 52 is not a particularly rare pen, and it may be all you can afford now, but you keep at those 61s, you sell a 61, you buy a 52. Spicy, you want to get into repairs, huh? Yeah, you need well, I mean, you need some room. You need a bench. Well, so the thing about needing decent equipment, there's not a lot of, with pen repair, there are very specialized tools, depending on what you want to do. And usually there's only one tool. There's no low end, there's no middle end, there's no high end, there's one tool. Sometimes there's, sometimes there are, but and my philosophy is, and you can't see all my tools off to the side. My philosophy is you get the best tool you can get. Because the best, if you have a choice between the best tool and the cheapest tool, the best tool will do a better job and will be less frustrating than the cheapest tool. So I have, for example, I have two pliers like this. This is a snorkel tube setting pliers, and it's double-sided. One side is for Triumph nibs with diagonal tips, and the other side is for open nibs with flat tips. And they will last longer. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's and I know it's easy to spend somebody else's money. I have another one of these that has, and so that the tube sits in this channel here, and then there's a stop on the end, so that tells you how far to set it. I have another one of these, but it doesn't have a stop. It only has one side. And this was about, I don't remember how much this was. $40, $50. It was no more than $60 for this tool. And I don't think it was that much. But it is a heavy duty piece of kit. It's not going to break ever. I mean, if something does get loose, these are, you can tighten these up. Essentially it's a parallel jaw pliers. The other one I have was a tool that was made, and while it sort of works, it doesn't work as good as this one. And it doesn't give you the depth, so what's the point? You're going to have to spend extra time. Here I can, now, that being said, there are multiple depth sizes that sometimes this doesn't always work, but this is the really, really a good starting point, and it will get you 80% of the way there. What I use for sack spreader? Nothing, my hands. I have some original sack spreaders, 100-year-old sack spreaders, but you don't really need them unless you're working with like a size 12. Usually you get the cheapest stuff. Now, I mean, if we're talking screwdrivers or something, like you need a long, flat-bladed screwdriver to get the screw out of the blind cap on a snorkel. This could be the cheapest thing on the planet. It doesn't have to be, because it's not specific. That's all I use this screwdriver for is just snorkels. But, and this was something I probably bought at Harbor Freight. I mean, it's the cheapest thing ever. If it starts to go, I just get another one. But if they are pen specific tools, spend the money and just get the best tool you can that there is. When Scott Pauley starts making his vac diaphragm or vac units, you get this one. Don't mess around with, well, this isn't one of them, but you have this style. This is actually for Aerometric 51 filling units. But this they don't work very well. They're gonna hurt your hand when you use it. They don't get it tight enough. I mean, and the Scott Pauley tool is, I mean, it's not cheap, but it's going to save you. If you use the other tool and you screw up the threads, the money you saved is lost by the fact that now you got to buy a new filling unit. So if it takes you a little bit longer to get all the tools that you need, so be it. But get the right tools. You don't have to have this tool. You won't find it. And it's it's going to be, I mean, if you can find this, it's $200, $250 maybe. Right tool saves your muscles, right? Yep. Cycling inner tubes give you killer grip. I've never had really good luck with them, but maybe it's just the tubes that I use. So, you know, and there's and I get most of my tools from Penn Tooling, and he's like 89% of the time his tools are really great. I've had a couple of not great experiences, but he was totally cool about returning whatever because I didn't like it. But most of his stuff are, you know, and you're probably not going to buy all the stuff that I buy, you know. This tool, I love this tool. This is a nib setting pliers. Again, it's a parallel jaw pliers, but your nib goes in there. And there's actually, there's multiple jaws. It comes with multiple jaws and extra little pads in there in case you screw them up. Because there's a pad on the top here. But for, you know, pushing into a section, you need that. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's, you know. If you're starting with lever fillers, you don't need much. You really don't. All right, what do we got? I'm going to throw this in there too. This is a lovely, lovely Waterman. And it's getting close to noon, so my time here is almost up. So yeah, I know, I understand. And there's not that many people that make Penn-specific repair tools. So, I mean, you're going to need, you're going to need a lot of these types of things. And yeah, you can, generic pliers, you're going to find what works for you. I use, where are they? These conical round nose. I use these for nib work. These are great. This is Bead Smith. I use these all the time. But I mean, you know, even these, who knows where they're made? You know, they'll last forever. You know, these are the same hemostats that I sell. They're made in Pakistan. They're bomb proof. They lock nicely when you need them to lock. You know, get yourself a nice pair of scissors for cutting sacks, and only use it to cut sacks. It'll keep the blade nice and sharp. And these, believe it or not, I bought, these are also made in Pakistan. Pakistan makes some really, really good, good tools. I bought these at a flea market. You know, you get one of those places that sells a lot of tools, and I really like them. They're solid. I mean, I've used them for 15 years. You know, some stuff you got to make yourself, but. All right, we're going to take this out because I am going to shut down here in a minute, and I'm going to go home and start my holiday, as they say across the pond. You use new butyl rubber and turn the inside out. Put through washing machine to rinse out the talc. Oh, okay. Oh, yep, there we go. Okay, that's good. So we're going to knock that out next time. I only had that cap in for a little bit, but. And it does look like this was used as an eyedropper. There was a ton of ink in it. Did I get it all? I got, how many nibs I got here? 3 nibs. 1, 2, 3, plus the waterman that's soaking. Did I take Lisa out to dinner last night? I did. Yeah, we went to Happy Holidays, Fuzzy. Enjoy time with the family. Thanks for all the streams. Yeah, you bet. I'm glad I'm glad somebody shows up. I really am. You know, I mean, at first I thought I got it. I did it for me because I got nothing else to do. But I'm glad people showed up, and I'm glad people are getting something out of it. Yeah, we went to Olive Garden last night. Just for a little something different. Oops, that's this cap here. And so that was kind of nice. And that's for that pen. So I didn't want Lisa to have to cook. And I didn't feel like cooking, so. But we got leftovers in the fridge. We got to eat those up before tomorrow and the kids come over and all that stuff. So this probably could go in. I'm going to do this. This will be my reminder that we're going to soak that again. The Olive Garden here originally started as National Lobster Restaurant so long ago I don't remember the name. As long as it's not Red Lobster, I won't go to Red Lobster anymore. I like the concept, but it's too commercial for me. You know, they walk in and they know they're expensive because the first thing they ask you when you walk in is, "Oh, is it a special occasion?" No, I'm gonna get some fish, man. Oh, it was Red Lobster. Yeah, I mean, it did just turn me off. And then, you know, and everything is, you know, it's not. I'd rather go to a seafood restaurant like, you know, you go in Florida or something when we go down to visit Lisa's mom. Those are the places to go to. You're not so much into vintage, but you've learned a lot. Might not be as scared of vintage. Yeah, I mean, you know, you never know when you're going to be at an antique store somewhere, or someone's going to say, "Hey, listen, I got these old pens in my, you know, from my grandpa or whatever. You can have them." And then there's an Esterbrook lever filler in there. I mean, the pens write great. Schaefer's, I love balances. That's my pen, sitting here on my desk. You know, and if you're not afraid to, I mean, what you need to understand is you need to know where your limits are. And unfortunately, I think there's a lot of people who don't understand that. They don't understand what they don't know. And I see this all the time. And, you know, and they start disassembling stuff that they shouldn't be disassembling. You know, stuff that's exceptionally rare or stuff that's, you know, like, don't be taking that apart. You know, if you have to ask these simple questions about how to get this apart, maybe that might not be the pen for you. But, you know, lever fillers, that's the perfect place to start. Most of them are like 9 out of 10 are, there's nothing wrong with learning on those. There's the occasional oddball, but, you know, always ask questions before you start ripping vacuumatic units. Mary, hey, little jiggery pokery, plain water. You know, earlier this year I had somebody who had a Maxima, a slender Maxima, and he ripped, trying to get the pen apart, he ripped the filling system out of the back with the pliers. Just, I don't know if some of you were around for that. it was horrifying. It was horrifying to see. Thankfully, we were able to find, because it was an oversized filling unit, which made it really tough. Hans, hello. You're coming in right at the end here. Made it really tough to find a replacement. I luckily had a replacement, but that was a long time ago. All right, so that's our tray of pens. These two we'll let soak, and maybe the pistons will, some of that ink in there will dissolve, and we can come back to those tomorrow or Monday. You knew a guy who took the nib out with hardware pliers, smashed and bent the nib? Oh, man. Yeah. This one I have high hopes for. Now, I see somebody put some plumber's tape on there, which kind of concerns me, but I wonder if this would have had at some point like an aerometric squeeze type filler on it. I'm going to see if I've got an extra. I'm sure I have an extra Parker unit. Maybe I can get a Parker unit, see if it fits. It's pretty narrow, though. You're supposed to use your teeth instead of pliers to remove nibs? Yeah. Yeah, like this one here. It is nasty. It's such a cool pen, though. Hooded striped celluloid with ribbing on the section. Got a cool clip. It is cool. It is cool. I mean, maybe it was an eyedropper. I doubt it, though. I really doubt it. And as long as you're here, Hans, you missed the beginning. Here's that diamond metal barrel. I think we applied a little too much heat to it yesterday. There's actually a little bit of a rippling. Where is it? On the side here. But I discovered early this morning, before the stream, that I could take a size 16 sack and I could shove it down there and it would actually seat itself on the nipple. So I measured it so that the depth is below the threads. I put shellac on the inside. So this is about 3/4 of an inch long. I'll save you having to go back, but you can go back if you want. There's about an inch depth to the base of the nipple. And it's about 1/4 inch to the bottom of the threads and below this line. So when we thread the filling unit in, it's got to clear that. So it's about 3/4 of an inch. Shellacked the inside, shoved it down. I mean, I was able to, when I had the whole sack, I was able to like hold it up. So I knew it was attached. So it works as a button actuated buffer. That's correct. Yeah. Unfortunately, I noticed there's a little bit of I don't remember this being here, and I think this is from the heat yesterday trying to get it. I don't know if you can see it. Right here. There's a little, maybe you can see it right there. A little stippling there. But it didn't break or crack through or anything. So I put it on. We're gonna see if it holds. What I forgot to do, what I should have done, it's too late for it now, is I should have talked it before I shoved it in. Because I've got to spin that stupid button unit around it. I don't think I want to use a vacuumatic lubricant because I don't want it to get on I think talc is a better choice. But I can maybe get some talc in there with the toothpick. All right. Have a Merry Christmas. Good to see you. All right. So I think this is a good place to stop for me today. We got these apart. They're all something different. We'll look at these pistons next Monday. The Titania. Why not Wagashi? Thanks for the follow. The Titania here, we'll see. I'm going to try to dig out and see if I have some other like aerometric squeeze units somewhere. They don't have to be a 51, but we'll try that because I think that would be a better fit than trying to worry about ink leaking out the barrel. The button fillers apart, that's good. We got a 530, that should be good. The Conway should be good, and hopefully we'll get the Lady Patrician open, and I'll let it soak, and we'll have a good batch of pens for next week. So, yeah, Lisa and I will be doing the podcast on Friday, 1:30 normal time. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, Happy Boxing Day for those involved, and all that jazz. But I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I have a date with my bike. I have 8 days to ride 500 kilometers, so I need to get cooking on that. Merry Christmas, Gabriel. Caleb, have a fantastic holiday. Juicy, Merry Christmas, Happy Boxing Day, all that stuff. Ellen, Merry Christmas. Yep. Russell. You'll assemble a Cardinal Pens wish list by Monday. All right, sounds good, Plain Water. But other words, let's take it off early today, and everybody be safe. Have a great day. Have a good afternoon, a good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Be kind, be well. Merry Christmas. And we'll see you on Friday for the podcast and back here on Monday. All right, everyone. Take care. Thank you.